What is the scoop with Carson Wentz as you and I converse right now, Ian?
Well, he is still currently a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. And, I don't mean to sound like Sean McVay when he said, Les Snead when he said Jared Goff is our quarterback right now, whatever.
For the moment,
oh boy.
right.
Les is the greatest, but that was the biggest tell of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still a member of the Eagles. Could he return? Anything is possible. I would not say it's likely at all, but possible. I don't get the sense anything is imminent. The Colts have had interest. The Bears have had interest. Maybe a couple other teams have had calls, but to me, it's mostly those two. And I know there was a lot of momentum, like on Friday and then maybe kind of Saturday. I was like, all right, maybe this could happen soon. But then you get through Saturday, it doesn't happen. You get through the Super Bowl, it doesn't happen. It didn't happen yesterday. And this is just kind of my read on the situation. It's almost like everyone took a deep breath and were like, all right, hang on. Like, why are we hurrying? And it felt like everyone kind of went back to their own corners and like, let's figure out what we would give up, what we want to do, and kind of what we want for the future.
Right. So what does a trade look like? Because we saw what a trade looked like for Stafford because it involved Goff and his equally hefty contract. And and Goff went, obviously, to Detroit in a trade. So no quarterback's going to be coming back to Philadelphia, right? I mean, because it's going to be Hurts, or if they want to draft another one, they can. So what is the construct that you're hearing about for a deal potentially for Wentz? What does it look like?
I mean, if the Bears need to shed salary, they could also trade Foles. I don't know if that would be the craziest thing in the world. So I wouldn't be totally surprised to see that. But, the Stafford-Goff deal is really a problem because usually, one trade sets the precedent for another trade, right? So Laramie Tunsil goes for 2 first-rounders, and then Jalen Ramsey goes for 2 first-rounders, and then Jamal Adams goes for 2 first-rounders. Usually, those were sort of apples to apples. You can compare. That makes sense. The Jared Goff contract really makes it extremely difficult to compare because, of course, Howie Roseman would want 2 ones. Well, if the Lions got 2 ones, why shouldn't I have 2 ones? But they're 2 future ones, and they had to take on Jared Goff's contract. So it was not a good point of comparison. I mean, I think they'll be able to get a first-rounder. That would be very good, considering the way Carson played. I just don't know what levels of more they're going to be able to get.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.